What's good? What's good? Going on? Realest one, slide accordingly. You already know. You already know. Alpha, what's going on? Wraith, what's going on? Appreciate you, bro. So, not just got done, but a couple hours ago, I had watched WrestleMania 41, night one, right? Now, I'm not as big of a wrestling fan as I used to be. Growing up, it was completely different. And obviously it's changed just like everything else. Everything is going to change. Like the dudes I grew up watching, like Austin and Rock, all these dudes, that's a long time ago. It's a completely different era. You got all these different companies like AEW and shit like that. At one point in time, I was like, I should incorporate wrestling into my content, start doing wrestling content. But I know I can't do that necessarily because I don't keep up with every little detail that goes on in wrestling. My interest isn't there like it used to. Like I'm type of person, I catch the clips. I don't even sit there and watch the shows. Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. I damn sure don't watch NXT. I used to watch AEW. Fell out of that. But I watch the clips. I don't even watch the full shows like that. I pop out when I think something interesting is going on to me. You know what I mean? Like I might not watch Raw, SmackDown, or whatever, but when it's the weekend time and it's time for a pay per view, I'm gonna definitely peek my head. I'm gonna definitely pop my head out and see what's going on with it. And any wrestling fan gonna tell you if they watch it just a little bit, but not too much, and they catch the pay per views, they definitely gonna watch WrestleMania. There's gonna be something on that card for somebody. You know what I mean? So tonight was night one. Well, last night. Technically, tonight is night two. And I'm not gonna lie. On paper, even before the event, I'm like, this seems like there's something missing about this card, bro. It just seems like there's something missing. Like the only let me see. There's only a few matches on the card that seem like actual WrestleMania matches. This being his last WrestleMania. Well, that's what he say anyway. Him and Cody, yeah, that got main event written all over it. Uh, you got the CM Punk, Reigns, and Seth joint, which it took me some kind. I kind of had to force myself to get into that because there's no championship on the line. Like only whoever wins. So that would mean there must be going to be some type of interesting ending to kind of like swerve the story a little bit, which there was. And I kind of had talked about what could they do with this triple threat main event that would make it worth watching. Just seeing them wrestle ain't enough. Y'all you must have something planned to where it's gonna add to the story and keep it going in a way where it's like, oh wow, that's crazy. But if there's no title on the line, then what's gonna come from it. Here it is, night one WrestleMania. You got these three dudes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we gonna be able to take away from this? So I kind of had mentioned and thought to myself what might was gonna happen, and then it ended up happening, but I only thought about it for a second. I wasn't really serious about it. But anyway, so the beginning of it, here we go. We got Jey Uso versus Gunther. Now, I wasn't really too big on this match at first, but when I seen Gunther beating the hell out of his brother Jimmy, and he had him handcuffed and all of this, they even brought blood into it. I'm like, oh damn, okay, so they trying to do something interesting. They trying to kick it up a notch. They trying to turn it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's when I started paying a little bit more attention to it. It's that average. It's your everyday underdog story. Can Jay, get it done against Gunther? Like he had beat him, what they say, 3 times. Where the hell was I at? I don't remember them facing that many damn times. But anyway, Prez, what's going on, bro? Jade and Naomi killed it. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get to that with they fine ass. But yeah, bro, that's kind of what my gripe is about the match, bro. Right there, what you just said. So here come Jay. He come out through the crowd. He got a dope attire on or whatever. And then you got these, I don't know if there's like a band. I don't know who these fools was. I think they was promoting some type of game or whatever. I'm like, who are these fools? They come out with the flags, that yeet. I hate that yeet shit. I gotta say it. I got to say it. I always hated that shit. I felt like out of all the things in the world that this man could come up with, I ain't up here to be no hater about it, but I'm just saying that shit sounds so annoying to me, fam. I felt like he could have came up with a better catchphrase, but the people love it. I'm just one nigga talking. They love that shit. So, whatever. But anyway, come Gunther. He ain't got nothing special with his interest. He just come with that coat he come out with. The match, it seemed kind of mediocre to me. I'm a multitasker, so I'm not watching every little second. But to me, it seemed like at one point, WrestleMania matches, when you mention a title, it was always like, okay, this is going to be a long night. This is going to really be a fight. But in this era where they have WrestleMania, it's like their matches, no matter what title is on the line, it's always that we're going to get in, we're going to get out type of style. You know what I mean? It just don't seem like it really be a title match. And it didn't seem like it like that. Like kind of early in the match, Gunther, he ended up hitting Jay with the damn belt. I'm like, but it seemed like the match just came on not too long ago. You know what I mean? But it could have been better. It could have been better. I thought after everything that they did to build up this story with these dudes, I thought the match. I just didn't feel like the match. It. I don't feel like it stayed on the same level of the story. You know what I mean? That probably won't be the last time they face off or whatever. But what would be the point? Maybe just to get Jay to have a couple wins on his belt because they say Gunther had beat his ass like 3 times or whatever. Yeah, Jay, I can't hate on him getting the title. I can't hate on him getting the title. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody thought that Jay or Jay, he's the Jeff Hardy in the group. You had Matt and you had Jeff. Everybody loved Jeff more. Jeff would be the one who would be, acting the damn fool, jumping off all this crazy shit. I mean, both the Usos did that, but I don't know, man. When the bloodline thing started like breaking, when like the further it got, it seemed like folks was more like into Jay because he was the one who broke out first. He started doing the single thing first, so of course. But yeah, the Yeet thing, I can't stand that. But anyway, out of all ways, here it is. They got this story being, you got Jay Uso, who's like, trying to take down this big bad villain. And they built Gunther up to be like this unstoppable, vicious, like villain. But then the way they end the match, they made this man tap out, bro. I could not believe. Do you know I almost got mad at the shit? I'm sitting there like, y'all know you out your mind right here when you do that. Like they built Gunther up this whole time, even since he was in NXT as this tough to beat motherfucker. Had never seen this fool tap out before. I can't recall. I don't remember. You got a few people in wrestling who you'd never expect to see tap out like that. Let's say you got the Brock Lesnar's, the Undertakers. You got some people might say, well, Gunther, he ain't up there with them, but you understand what I'm saying. He's one of the tough guys. He's one of the big guys, the tough ones. I could not believe they had this man tap out to Jay Uso out of all people, fam. No disrespect to Jay at all, I promise you. But I did not see that coming. A roll up pin, or maybe even if they would have kept it at the 3 splashes from the top rope, that could have been it. But I don't understand what they was thinking with that, because it's like this man still has to wrestle. There are other people who this man is going to wrestle. So it's like y'all still are going to dub him as this big tough guy villain, but I'm gonna have in my head that he can tap out, and he tapped out to Jey Uso. Like this, to me, when I look at him, it's going to affect his character. I feel like that was the wrong move right there, man. I feel like that was the wrong move. You know what I mean? I'm just a nigga watching. They booking it, but I just don't understand where their mind was at when they made that big old brother tap out like that, man. Not brother, but and then it was kind of quick too. It was kind of quick. He was like, "Yo, get off, nigga, get." You know what I mean? It was quick. Ray, what's going on, bro? Interesting conversation. I'm out the loop with wrestling. Sting was my guy. The last time I watched Sting. Yeah, Sting. Yeah, yeah. He was actually at over at AEW. Matter of fact, he just retired on within the last year, I believe it was. Yeah, I usually don't even talk wrestling like that, Ray. You know what I'm saying? I watch it. I just keep up with it. At one point in time, I was going to do content on it, but I'm like, I don't watch it. I don't keep up with it enough to do the content. Even watching WrestleMania tonight, I didn't watch all the matches. I kept up with the main matches that was on the damn, on the flyer, the main matches. I knew that Jay and Gunther were going to kick it off. I'm not surprised at that. But it's kind of wild how he come out. They call him main event Jay Uso. He got the attire that says main event, and he the first one out. That's crazy. God damn. Maybe next year, Jay. Maybe next year. You know what I mean? If CM Punk wouldn't have came back, then I think they probably would have had him in the main event. So he might have Punk to thank for that. He just might have Punk to thank for that. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Let me see. Jade versus Naomi. Naomi with her chocolate ass. Oh, that mercy. And Jade, she fine as hell too, bro. See, I was watching Jade since AEW. She was over there. She was killing it. She was killing it. She had what was it? It was the women's. He had one of the titles over there, the women's title for an ill minute. Nobody couldn't get it off of her. Then I guess when her contract was getting ready to expire, they took it off of her. Now they got Sasha Banks over there, aka Mercedes Monet, and she got like about 4 damn belts. She got like 4 belts, bro. And people are like people can't. A lot of people can't stand her because they saying that she really can't wrestle as good as they make it seem she can. So how she got 4 belts? She fine, but they like she ain't that fine though. How y'all got her with all these damn belts? Press say, I need to do WWE content. Created a wrestling channel but never uploaded anything. Yeah, man. But anyway, Jade and Naomi. Okay, so there wasn't no guessing about this right here. What was gonna happen? This was just Jade's single WrestleMania debut. I didn't really expect too much out of the match. I like Naomi's new, her new style, like her new attire and all of that. You know what I mean? She even got the rock music to come out too, the rock and roll type music. She lost that glow shit. You know what I mean? With her chocolate ass, I can't say it enough. You know what I mean? But here I want to say this about Jade though. She kind of like lacks the authenticity for me. I'm not gonna lie. Because if you was really watching like one part of the match, it was just like she don't sell it enough for me. She's in shape, she got the body, she got the size for it, but she just doesn't sell it enough for me. I'm big on authenticity. We know what this shit is set up. We know it's what I mean, predetermined, all of that, right? But it's all about the emotion. You got to make people believe, and it's just like I don't get that from her. When she throwing her hits, even when she grabs, the other woman to pick them up. Every time I watch Jade, I'm watching her, and then all of a sudden I see her do a specific move, and it's just like if that was somebody else with the size and ability like her, they would have made that shit look so much real. You know what I mean? But I mean, that match seemed like how long was it? About 5-6 minutes? Maybe it was longer than that. I don't know. Nobody knew. You knew damn well Naomi wasn't finna win nothing. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Naomi, she's still fine. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Yeah, there you go, Press. You're right. It was the TBS belt she had. I didn't know you was watching AEW like that. Yep, that was the name of the belt. I almost said TNT, but you're right. It was the TBS women's belt. They tried to give her, She was on the road. She had that belt for a minute when she was over there, too. Rafe said that's a good idea. I don't know me. She to talk about wrestling. This is a good few. This is a good few channels. You know what I'm saying? The story, Jenny, appreciate you. Prez say the storyline build was dope. The way Jay attacked Naomi Elimination Champion. Yeah. About the storyline, right? And I could be wrong, but I'm always looking into the future on it because I done seen a lot of these storylines like over and over already. If you've been watching it as long as me, then I'm sure when you see some of these storylines, you think to yourself, okay, I've seen that before. They switch it up a little bit, they spice it up, but some of these storylines, it's like, okay, I've seen them try this before. They're just doing it a little bit different. Now, the Jade thing, right? It kind of reminds me what I think they're doing with this is kind of like shades of what they did with Austin. See, Austin, even though Jay didn't get ran over with a car, she just got dropped on top of the damn car. Austin got ran over. He was out. He came back, right? End up finding out who he thought had really did it, which was Rikishi. They built that up. They have a match. He beat his ass, get him out the way, boom. But then come find out it was really Triple H. So I feel like this old Jade thing, I feel like that they're gonna drag this along. They're gonna have Bianca win that title, right? And then they're gonna have Jade face Bianca for the title because I feel like they're gonna have it fixed up to where it's like, okay, Naomi wasn't the one who really did it. She ended up finding out that Bianca was the one who really attacked her. You know what I mean? I know I'm not the only one that thinks that, but I mean, it would make sense though, because you got SummerSlam coming up. That's the next big pay per view. You know what I mean? So I could see. It seemed like it's kind of too soon for Jade to get the belt. It seemed like maybe she should put in a little bit more work. But at the same time, I mean, who else? Like it's kind of limited. There's only a few top girls really there like that. You know what I mean? But Bianca and Jade, like that's a money match right there. Both of them in bomb ass shape, fine as hell, two black sisters. You know what I'm saying? So I can kind of see it happening like that. But I only watch AEW highlights. This show is trash in my opinion. AEW used to be good, Prez. It used to be. Um, it got I got a sour taste in my mouth about it to an extent. You know what I mean? Like when they first started, their first 2 years was fire. When they first started up, it was fire. You know what I mean? But like all wrestling companies, you have that point where you have that high point and you have that low point. AEW, I feel like the thing with them, they just like they willing to hire any damn body, and fools got to work and everything, but it's just like they hire so many damn people that they try to keep up with keeping everybody involved in doing something. And it's just like, all the legends and stuff like that. Like Edge, they had Sting over there. They just brought MVP Bobby Shelton a while back. They got the titles, the tag titles. Like AW they're always hiring somebody to keep, and they got so many people on payroll. God damn. I would never be surprised if they went bankrupt, man. I just don't understand how the hell they paying all these damn people. They paying a lot of people to sit at home. There's a lot of people on that roster, man. Let me see. Yeah, storyline be rinse and repeat. LOL, it's fun trying to predict the outcome. Yeah, it is fun predicting the outcome. When you watched it as long as me and you watched it, we see some shit like I definitely seen this before. They just try to add like a little twist to that. Cause it's like how many times, it's like how many storylines can you create, right? But it's also, like you see the wrestling companies, they be taking storylines from each other. With AEW, there was times where they did things that I had never seen. So I would give them props for that. But I just watched the clips. I can't tell you the last time I sat through and watched a whole wrestling show. I can't tell you. LOL, I did it for the Rock. That's what I think they're getting ready to do. I ain't gonna lie. I think Naomi really gonna come out and say, I did it for Bianca. I swear to God, I feel like she gonna say that shit, bro. Jay versus Bianca, and that's Bianca's slow turn. Hell yeah, Bianca she already kind of like showed like a little hint at her turning heel. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised at all if she ended up winning this title. It would set it up perfect. You know what I mean? And then when she wins the title, the thing that she's gonna be saying is, I had to get you out the way so I could get to WrestleMania. You know what I mean? You was in my way, Jordy. Like I was trying to get the belt. I had to get your ass up out of here, and it worked too. She had got the belt. You know what I mean? So it makes sense to me. Christian Benoit was that guy too, peaceful resting him. Yeah, yeah. You know the thing about that, Keith, the Chris Benoit thing, like people will, some people are scared to even talk good about what he did in the ring because of the situation that happened outside of that. The whole, like, there's people who feel like, what's the name of that condition that the wrestlers get? When they hit their head so many times that it affects their brain. Is it CTE? Something like that. Um, I feel like they said he had that, but then there's some people who feel like he didn't have it, and they feel like he was a conscious decision to do what he did to his family. They don't even put that man in the video game. There you go. That is CTE. There you go. They don't even put that man in the video games, bro. They completely just wash their hands with that man's name. That was my guy too. Like I remember that shit like it was yesterday. I'm sitting here waiting for Raw to come on. And then the first thing I see is in loving memory of Chris Benoit. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Yo, what happened to Chris? I was a kid, dude. I'm like, yo, I think I was actually crying too. I'm like, you know what I mean? Because that's as hot as he had ever been at that moment. He had won the title for the first time, a little bit before that, and everything. You know what I'm saying? He finally got to, you know, that main event status after all those years in the business, and then you have that happen. R.I.P. to his family. Um, I can't go around the fact that he's the one that did it, but do I feel like CTE played a part? I mean, who am I to say? I'm just a fan at the end of the day. But I mean, the man's finishing move was a flying headbutt, man. It's fake as well. I say this, as predetermined as wrestling is. Exactly, Chris. That's what I was about to say. The man was jumping off the damn top ropes, really like, landing his head either into the mat, into their head. Hell, he not only did he have it, but he probably caused it on a few other damn people. Cause we talking about back in the days when they was like really hitting each other with chairs. Like they would put their hands up, but these fools, for the most part, their hands would only get like a little bit of that impact, and they would really be getting cracked in their head. You know what I'm saying? That was around the time when there would be times where they didn't even put their hands up. They didn't even bother. Their head space would be wide open, and then you would hear that hard ass crack over the head. It is straight up different. I mean, it was different, man. Them chair shots. They take it a lot easier these days. But yeah, man. Rafe said that was damage done to the brain. It had to be. You know what I'm saying? Like to go on a rage like that. You know, I hope it was. For the sake of that. Like I don't know, man, but it's a shame that a person can't be um remembered for, well, us as the fans will always remember him for what he did in the ring. You know what I'm saying? As far as what he was doing, in the ring, I'll always remember that. We'll always remember that. But because of what he did outside, that shit tarnished his whole damn, you know what I mean? It tarnished his whole career. That's the terrible part about it. But like I say, definitely RIP to him and his family, and his son and his wife. Terrible situation, man. Terrible. Yeah, chair shots to the head is bad now. Yeah, it's a completely different time. They don't dare do that shit no more. I do understand that a lot of those wrestlers were under a lot of pressure due to contracts to perform back in the days. Yeah, you had a lot of that going on too. They were all high as kites back in the 80s. That coke was pure. Yeah, cocaine, hell of a drug. Hell yeah. Like if you ever watched that show Dark Side of the Ring, like it's like a lot of those stories they talk about, and them wrestlers, they'll tell you. Like after I was doing wrestling, we would go out to the hotel, we be getting the prostitutes, that cocaine, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I done seen every episode of that. since they came. Like that's probably like the most interesting take on like what goes on behind the scenes. And it's only about an hour. That ain't enough time. I'd be knee deep into that shit. I'd be like, damn, it's going off already. Like the latest one had y'all remember Tony Atlas, right? The dude, I didn't think they was gonna touch on it, but they actually talked about how he liked to be stepped on by women. He liked to buy women's shoes, and he liked for the women to step on his head and his chest and all that shit. I'm like, he really talked about that in this damn documentary. People was like, yo, is he gonna touch on that or not? That's crazy. Let me see. Vince McMahon was a dirty operator, man. When Macho Man told me Gene his mustache was crooked. Watch the Vince documentary. You know what, Prez? I have yet to watch that documentary too. Was it good though, Prez? That Vince documentary? Like I heard all type of stories about Pat Patterson, man. They said he was a wild boy. R.I.P. Pat. You know what I'm saying? They said he was a wild boy. You got that. What was it? What they call that? The ring boy situation, whatever. That involved Pat Patterson, man. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said Pat Patterson that grabbed his meat. He did say that. Yeah. But what was I saying? Okay, I was talking about Jade and Naomi. Oh yeah. So Jade, she beats Naomi, and like I said, I just feel like they just need to work on her authenticity a little bit. And she got the body, she got the height, she got the style. I feel the same way about Jay too. I feel like he's being his authentic self. But when you talk about like promo work, or you talking about mic work, I feel like he could do a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all about the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be real, in WWE, it's all about wrestling and then it's about acting. You got some horrible actors, man. I'm so big on authenticity. I want to see everything just raw, authentic from the words on the mic to the moves in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope that Jay finally, got the belt or whatever the case is. Let's see how long they gonna let him run with it. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like his mic work, it need a little upgrade. You know what I'm saying? And that damn yeet word, I can't stand that shit, bro. Oh my god, I can't stand it. But I know he's not gonna change it now. You know what I mean? Like he was saying that all this time before he even got the belt. Now that he got the belt Monday on Raw, they really gonna be yelling that shit out. You know what I'm saying? But the Tiffany and Charlotte Flair match. Now, I'm not really a big fan of the Tiffany chick. And why is her damn face so big, bro? Yo, y'all remember that movie Mask? Remember Rocky Dennis? I ain't saying she looked like him, but I'm saying her face just is mad wide and big. I ain't even trying to, I don't mean to trash the girl, but why is the girl face so damn big, man? It just seems like she has some type of, what do they call that surgery that people get like on their face and things like that. But it seemed like she had some type of surgery before she came there. So I'm like, yo, did she have some type of work done on her face before she came to WWE? Like her face is just big as hell. You understand? She's got a big ass face, bro. Like if this was a couple years ago, I would not care at all if Charlotte won, lost, or what. But I'm just not big on the Tiffany chick, man. Like I just feel like it's like I've seen that before. A pretty blonde haired chick. We've seen that before. You know what I mean? It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The only reason they brought Charlotte back, and it really brought her back to win the Rumble, to go to WrestleMania, all just to literally like build this Tiffany girl up. At least Charlotte could wrestle a little something. The Tiffany girl, I just feel like the best thing she got is that damn moonsault, that backflip. What they call it? The prettiest moonsault ever, or some shit like that. That Tiffy time shit. I don't know. Her voice is annoying to me, man. I don't know. I just like her voice is annoying to me, and she don't look right with the belt either. Just to me personally, she don't look right with the belt. I feel like she need to get some better moves. You know what I mean? And do something other than that damn backflip. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody doing backflips. She flipping. You got Jacob Fatu. He flipping. You know what I mean? Obviously, he won the belt. He don't really got too many moves either. Matter of fact, what moves he got? Some more he got. Look, I hate to say it. I ain't trying to sound ignorant, but these Samoan dudes, they all got the same template, bro. It's the same it's the same preset of moves and stuff. Like, Samoan drop, the ramming their ass into your face while you sitting in the corner, the super kick, you know. And this is how you know we in a completely different era of wrestling. At one point in time, the only person you seen doing the super kick was Shawn Michaels. Next thing you know, who would start being Dolph Ziggler that started doing it a lot. But I think other companies, like underground companies, was doing it, like Young Bucks. Everybody doing damn super kicks now. They done really fucked up, the legacy of that move, bro. But it still ain't nothing like when you see a Shawn Michaels hit it. When I see shit like that, it just gets you mad. Like, damn, man. Like, you really like wish you really like miss the era that you grew up in. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Botox injections. There you go. There you go. Um, Rafe said, I remember before I stopped watching wrestling, there was a time when I found it to be more soap opera like he didn't put out enough matches that might have changed. I mean, they still like focus on the story a lot. You know what I mean? Which I like to a degree because you have to sell this shit. You got to make it interesting. You got to build it up. Then that's what I was talking about. When I said the whole Jay and Gunther thing, like they did a decent job with the story, but I don't feel like the match was on the same level as the story. Like y'all did all of this to build Gunther up as this so tough to beat, big bad, ruthless ass fool who around here beating brothers up to a bloody pulp, just for him to tap out in a few seconds like that. That's wild to me, man. That's wild to me. You know what I mean? I wonder if Rey Mysterio stopped there. Yeah, that was Ray wrestling tonight, right? Versus what's his name? Chad Gable with that damn mask on. What do you call itself? Something Americano or some shit. And I felt crazy because I'm like, I didn't even know that was him, bro. Let me look at the card again because I didn't even know. Let me make sure. Because I was multitasking. Let me see. Yeah, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. That long ass name. This is how you know I wasn't paying attention to that match. I didn't even know it was Ray, bro. I didn't even know he was on the card. That's crazy. But yeah, talking about the Tiffany and Charlotte thing. I wanted Charlotte to win this match, bro. I knew she wasn't gonna win, but this is the first time in a long time I want Charlotte to win. I'm not on the bandwagon of this Tiffany chick yet. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. We'll see. She type of person that is probably better as a heel. If she was a heel, I probably would like her a little bit more. Because it seems like when these wrestlers get to be a heel, when they get to like test out like exactly what they're made of. Like they get to be a little bit more creative and things like that. It seems like they even talk about how they prefer being healed because it's like, it makes it easier. You know what I mean? Like they can add to it, they can do different things to get a reaction. And it kind of like, it kind of like takes the limits off of what they can do as a character. And it's like, okay. But yeah, she ended up winning with that damn backflip, man. You know what I mean? I turned my head for 1 second, then all of a sudden the match was over. Like, if this was a couple years ago, come on, man. Charlotte, like, at one point in time, like, Charlotte, she was like, to me, she was kind of like the female John Cena. And tell you why, because y'all, if you remember, when John was active, you couldn't catch John Cena without a title belt. That fool had the title all the time. Charlotte, and when she was wrestling, you know, on a normal basis, she had the belt all the damn time. You know what I mean? If this had been a couple years ago, like there wouldn't have been no doubt about it. There wouldn't have been no debate about who was gonna win that. But they trying to build Tiffany up. But see, when they say things like they compared her to Charlotte, and that's what I don't like. Because y'all just showed y'all hand. Y'all just showed y'all hand right there by saying that Michael Cole said she has what it takes to have. He didn't say this verbatim, but basically he was like, she has what it takes to have a Charlotte Flair like career. You know what I'm saying? So y'all are building her up to be something like her then. You know what I mean? Like they build wrestlers who might look like some of the legends or the ones before them, and they try to base them off of the ones from the past. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. But like I said, Jacob Fatu, he ended up winning the belt or whatever. New Day, they won the belts. Like, so yeah, like them is like smoke break matches right there. You know what I mean? But then we got the main event, right? You got the main event. You got Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and the storyline here was CM Punk finally getting his WrestleMania main event. And I don't even know, even though it's the main event for night one, can we really call it the main event when we know John and Cody, that's the actual main event? But I understand what they're saying, we ain't gonna be technical like that. But I said to myself before this match came on, I'm like, what can they do to end this match in a way that would leave people? Because like when WrestleMania ends, right? It's about either one or two things. It's about either a happy, feel good ending or a shocking, I can't believe this shit type of ending. So I'm like, what can they do for this match right here to leave people either feeling good or either shocked as hell? And I thought about it for 1 second, and I'm like, I could see what if Paul Heyman screwed CM Punk, right? What if he teamed up with Seth Rollins? I thought that for a second, but that thought left my mind. And then come find out that's exactly what happened, except he ended up screwing Reigns. He had Reigns thinking he was going to side back with his ass. He hit two people in their damn nuts tonight. And it came full circle back around again. It's like, oh wow, Roman gets the opportunity to hit Seth in his back with the chair like he did to him all those years ago. Just for Paul. Look, Paul, he was ready to get that shit over with too. He didn't even wait for that exact moment where Reigns had put the chair in the air. He was like, I'm just about to hit you with your nuts so I can get out the ring, nigga. Hit him in his nuts, boom. Gave the chair to Seth. And that moment right there, that reminded me of Austin versus Rock. Because if you remember, it was Austin and Rock down to the wire, right? Last minute. They bleeding all over and all type of shit. It's like, yo, who's about to win this, man? And here come Vince. He come bring the chair in the ring. He hand Stone Cold the chair. And I remember I was at my cousin's house when I watched this too. I was like, I want to say I was like 12 or something like that. I don't know, but that's the latest I think I had ever stayed up to watch wrestling because I had to see that shit, Rock versus Austin. I had to see that shit. But anyway, that's what that kind of reminded me of, to see Seth and Paul walk out. And it's kind of weird because Seth, he don't need like somebody to walk out there with him. He don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So him being with Paul, how is that going to work? What is Paul going to bring to the table with Seth when Seth is already killing it on his own? What could Paul add? You know what I mean? Like Seth was already doing the damn thing. You don't need no damn Paul Heyman. But I understand, all this stuff is thought out way ahead of time and stuff like that. I didn't think CM Punk was going to win that match, though. I mean, I did, but I also said, I just, you know, them implicating Paul into that whole thing, they made him a very important part of that storyline. So it's like, okay, so he must be going to play a part in how it ends then. And sure enough, you see what happened. I agree with that. The Rock and Stone Cold not only had a good story, but a crazy battle. Yeah, they don't have rivalries like that no more, Wes. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad Flair lost. Yeah. But yeah, that was the main event. And tomorrow you got night two. Like like these matches that's for tonight. These matches don't even look interesting. They say Bailey and Lyra Valkyria or some shit like that versus Liv Morgan and Raquel. Damian Priest versus Drew. I fuck with Drew. I ain't really all that big on Damian. I ain't gonna lie. Breaker, he alright. Dominic, Balor, Penta, and I'm not gonna be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up giving Dominic that title though. Like, what could you do to get people pissed off? Because, like I say, it's about either making people feel good or shocking people. Imagine Dominic Mysterio with a title. Imagine this fool, as much of a bitch ass fool he is, walking around here with a title around his waist or over his shoulders. And like AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Oh God. I just listen, you know, I'm just not no fan of no damn Logan Paul, man. You got him in WWE and you got the brother doing the boxing thing. What is it about these dudes, man? You know? I'm sure I sound like a hater. I ain't hating on him, but I'm keeping it real. Like he plays a good villain though. I say that, you know? And today, WWE is all about like bringing more notoriety to it. Even though they're this big ass company, it's like if they can bring people who have these huge followings to the company, and they know how to, and they can learn how to wrestle, and they're good on the mic and stuff like that. You know, he just plays a good villain. But I just feel like AJ deserved better than to battle this fool, man. Than to wrestle this fool, man. But I mean, he did have a match with Kevin Owens before. And I think he didn't he fight who was it? Was it Randy last year? Logan Paul? Yeah. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up letting Logan Paul beat AJ, man. And then you got Sky, Ripley, and Belair. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I would be shocked if Bianca didn't win that title. I'd be shocked at that. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely be shocked at that because I feel like it's part of the storyline. Her winning that title, you know, it just goes along with the story. Like Jade, once again, she was kind of like hinting at the fact that they're not as cool as they used to be. When I was watching the post show, when she was doing her interview, she was like, you know, we're not really on good terms right now. I don't know what the future holds for us. You know, I know what the future holds for you. You know, let me tell you something. Naomi, she gonna be bitter from getting her ass beat at WrestleMania, and she gonna come out with it, and she gonna end up, you know, just throwing it out there. Listen, I didn't do that because of me. I did that for Bianca. Think about how emotional Naomi was when she had finally turned heel, and she admitted to everybody that she was the one who when she came out and said she had attacked Jade. She was crying and all of this shit in the ring. She was a little bit too emotional. You know what I mean? Like unstable, kind of like. You know what I'm saying? Like she had a little bit too emotion there. You know, she gave off that whole "I would do anything for Bianca." You know, like I love her. That's my best friend type of shit. So that means okay. So you wouldn't mind dropping Jade Cargill on top of a car, then? You know, I can't wait to see Bianca turn heel though. It's about time. You know, she had a good run as a baby face. She was killing it. She was killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like she kept it going. You had females like Sasha Banks who, you know, kept African American females in the mix. Because you know, as many black wrestlers that you have, it's not enough. You know, but the black wrestlers that we do have, they were some of the biggest names. So you can kind of say that. You know what I mean? We can name them all for the most part. They all, you know, have world titles and shit for the most part. You know what I mean? They all had titles. They played a relevant part in the game. You know what I'm saying? I knew Seth would win. Dom would be Trey Finn. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because that Judgment Day shit, that shit is over. Like, what else they gonna do with that? That's dead. That was dead when Priest and Rhea Ripley left. That shit was dead. Like, there ain't nothing else they could do with that. I can't stand Logan, but he's the shit in the ring. He be doing some wild shit, you know. He be doing the high flying thing, you know. As far as what he does in the ring, you know, you know, he got his move set and things like that. Um, I just feel like if they was to like have him beat AJ, it's like AJ is a world class athlete. This man have been all over the world, you know, like having Logan wrestle at WrestleMania, that right there is enough for him. Don't let him really get a win over a former world champion like that, like AJ. You know what I mean? I thought AJ was been supposed to leave WWE anyway, but anyway, as far as Cody Rhodes and John Cena, right? Now this is supposed to be Cena's last WrestleMania, but you know, he still has some dates lined up, you know, after this. So it's like this would be his 17th championship, his 17th championship win. I ain't gonna lie, let me say this right here though. I feel like they could have did a lot more with John Cena when he did the whole heel turn thing. I feel like they missed a couple of opportunities. He turns heel, beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes, and then after that, he come out and he just talking shit to the fans. And then they have Cody drop him twice. They could have did so much more. But I mean, he's not gone yet, so we might be able to see some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like they should have as big as John Cena is. Like this fool's supposed to be around here beating the brakes off of fools. Like we talking about the story being him snapping, finally having enough of the fans and everybody. Him saying, "This is my last year. Fuck all y'all ass." Right? He should be around here acting a damn fool, just beating the fuck out of people, bro. They could have been doing that so much better, but I still don't know what to think about, you know, tonight. Like if they're gonna Cody winning, we can see that happening, right? I actually want to see John win. And it's been a long time since I said that shit. Cause I used to hate that motherfucker, bro. Like he would win so much, I used to hate it. You know, it's like, damn, get a belt to somebody else. I'm tired of seeing him with the damn belt. You got sick of that shit. He win so much. You know what I mean? But I actually want to see him win. Because this being his last run, it makes me realize like that's crazy. As much as I used to hate this dude, you know, like I really grew up watching him. Like I seen him from when he first came in to the whole, you know, thugonomics thing to the goody two shoes scene to all of that. I've seen him go through all his eras, all his stages, you know? And you forget that even though these dudes are wrestlers, like they're a part of your growing up when you're watching them. Right. So if you were watching them since a kid, you actually appreciate that later on. Like I look back and I'm like, yo, I'm glad I was watching at that time because I got to see, you know, some of the greatest shit. You know, like when we seen Austin and we seen Rock and all these dudes, like they'll never duplicate that type of thing ever again. You know what I mean? They could try, but you know what I mean? But I would like to see John win that, but I don't know. For a main event, it just seems like that's going to be one of those let's get this over with type of matches. You know what I mean? Because John, I mean, he's limited in the ring. Let's keep it real. That's part of the reason why the man is leaving. You know, he's older now. Um, you know, he probably tired of this shit. You know, there's not. You know, they always said he couldn't wrestle any damn way. So what are you gonna do with Cody? You know, there's only a few moves that John ever had. You think Cena gonna win, Prez? I feel like he would too. You know what I'm saying? I guess how some people see it, they feel like, yeah, Cena is a heel now, but before his time is up, no pun intended, before his time is up with his run, you know, he'll probably end up turning back babyface to kind of like end it like that. Because I can't really see John ending his career as a heel. I feel like that's kind of weird, You know what I mean? Like him turning heel, that makes sense. This is a reason for him to turn heel. This is my last year. I don't need you motherfuckers. This is about me. I'm doing this for me. I don't need y'all. You know what I mean? But I still feel like they could have did a lot more with that. You know what I mean? Instead of just having him come out there and talking, they should have had him out there slapping fools in their face, all types of crazy shit. You know what I mean? But we'll see what they're gonna do, man. We'll see what they're gonna do. I'm not expecting it to be no spectacular match. We know what Cody do. We know what bag he get into. John, there's not too much John can do. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what are we expecting to happen exactly? I don't know. Is he obviously wanted two things. Cody gonna win, which we expect, or John wins. I don't know, man. Maybe John gonna bring out like I'm kind of curious of what his interest gonna be like. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to bring out like some different type of attire, like a special type of attire, like is he going to go back to having that big ass chain on his neck or some shit like that? I don't know, man. But besides that, on paper, the first night, like the card for the first night, I feel like it was better than tonight's card. You know what I'm saying? I don't care for none of these damn matches. I only want to see what the women wrestle and Cody and John. But they probably got some other stuff up their sleeve. You know what I mean? Yeah, I was about to say that right there. I was gonna say maybe the Rock will pop out. That would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because he was the one that started all this shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like he was there for that, and then he took off. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of weird anyway. You talking about he wanted this man to sell his soul to him. Like it was just weird. Like Rock was giving me some iffy vibes, like touching on Cody, like wanting hugs from him and shit. Like that shit was kind of. I was glad when they stopped that. That shit was weird as hell, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely, I would like to see John win that title for the 17th time. I can't believe I'm saying that because this man was winning so many titles back in the day. I got sick and tired of his ass. But I feel like he deserves it or whatever. When you think about it, when you grew up, when you've been watching these people for like 10 years plus and all of this, and you think about, wow, this is really about to be their last time wrestling. I'm never going to see this person again. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, damn, you get that nostalgic vibe when you think of everything that you used to watch them do. You know what I mean? Like Triple H did his Hall of Fame uh, speech last night. And it was like, yo, I used to hate Triple H, bro. I used to hate this motherfucker, man. I couldn't stand him. You know what I mean? But just paying attention, like just thinking about everything that he did as far as behind the scenes, after the Vince situation, like he really helped, like he really helped, like make WWE interesting again. You know what I mean? It's crazy when you look at these wrestlers you was watching all your life and you see that they really done got how old they done got and shit like that. That shit get kind of spooky because it's like, well, damn, if they're that old, then I'm this. You know what I mean? So it's wild, bro. It's wild, man. Crazy. We kissed Kevin Hart. Oh, we talking about Rock? When that happened? Oh, hell no. Shit. But overall, I've seen better WrestleManias, man. Because every WrestleMania is always going to be like a few matches that you want to see, certain matches or whatever. But I don't know, man. Night one, it was all right. Night two, I don't know. I don't like these matches right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm only gonna be there to see Rhea, Belair, and Sky, and then Cody and John. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? But I just got up here because I just, I had to talk about it, man. Because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this damn card, man. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna say it like this for real. I wish they would, have Jay work on his promo, like bring a little bit of authenticity into it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a terrible actor, like when it comes to the mic and shit. But I guess, when you selling merchandise for kids and stuff like that, that's the last thing they be thinking about. That's why they didn't care if they didn't care how good of a wrestler John was or how good of a wrestler he wasn't. He's selling merch. We don't care how much this nigga can wrestle. We don't care nothing about that. You know what I mean? But that's all it is, man. But I'm about to get up off of here, though. Nah, man. Appreciate y'all listening to me talk about wrestling and shit. Like I say, at one point in time, I was really thinking about doing content on wrestling, but I can't stay in tune with it enough to do content. I only watch clips and pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to you, Chris. Shout out to you, Wes. Shout out to you, Jenny. Shout out to the Bushes, too. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get up off of here. Y'all be easy, man.